Amazing. Do all this thing. Sticks and stones may break my bones, yeah. But easy now, I'm bulletproof, so words can never hurt me. Sticks and stones may break my bones, yeah. But easy now, I'm bulletproof, your words can never hurt me. Look.
Whoa. Yeah.
You gonna manage Raimundo?
Yeah,
That's what she said.
I've done it before. I'll do it again.
That's also
Let me be the director
kind of what she said.
of this weekly, bi-weekly, episodic format show of three niggas on the couch.
This podcast is by.
Curious.
It doesn't
What?
conform to social norms. It identifies as whatever it wants to identify as.
The podcast is
identifies
topic
as
fluid?
episodic, seasonal,
Purpose
weekly,
fluid?
bi-weekly. Yes, this podcast
mini-series.
is.
We're timely fluid, purpose fluid.
Yeah, this podcast
We're
is
just fluid. Non-binary
That's
podcast.
a non-binary. I like that's a non-binary podcast.
And it also makes sense.
Can't just
'cause we're
label
digital.
us and tie us down to whatever you determine is the new norm.
Dag nabbit.
We're in the Matrix.
Can't be in no daggone box.
Bunch of ones and zeros.
I mean, we can be in box, but that's outside of the
Hey.
podcast.
You know.
I'm saying,
you got to go face first.
listen, it
You
depends.
say you gotta go fist
Not
first. What's up with
face.
you?
Face
first.
I could have sworn I heard
But
fist.
not,
Yo, wow.
not if she has body odor. Then it's
Odor.
not going to happen. Okay?
Odor.
Just jump in
Udar.
there like an Olympic diver.
No. People were very unhappy with your bad breath choice, by the way.
Wildin'.
Everybody was like, that nigga's wildin'.
That's
Wildin'.
fine.
You know, I feel like Hans never had to deal with no real, actual, BO.
That's good. I hope no one here has.
He never had to deal with no canned tuna.
I didn't have to deal with it because I was
But
it.
That's
I was
weird,
the BO.
though, because Hans takes the train with white people on it, and they have an odor.
Odor.
They smell interesting in the summer.
Odor.
They smell like freshly grated salami.
Onion.
How do you know what that is?
French onion and vinegar.
Freshly grated salami.
Yeah, they
Who you be
smell-
hanging out with?
They smell a little tangy.
Little tangy.
What was that word? Gamey?
Yeah, they look gamey.
Little gamey? Reference to
You know.
episode 11? What was that? Yeah, y'all better go listen. Y'all better
They
go
remember they don't wash their legs.
listen. It's crazy.
Hey, sometimes you just gotta let the water.
Okay.
What?
Just gotta let the water run down. Soap will hit the rest.
That's crazy. That's
I
like,
don't believe this, but these are things that have been told to me.
that's like only
They don't
wash.
use washcloths.
That's like washing only the inside of your cup. That's nasty, my nigga. That's like washing
what you're
only
saying.
inside of your
You gotta
cup.
wash the inside and outside of the cup.
That's nasty, bro.
Okay, I thought you were talking about athletic
an
cup.
athletic.
I thought I thought you thought about moon cup. I'm like,
A moon cup? What in the
Don't worry,
astrology?
don't worry about what that is.
Why did you go to athletic cup? You know what? It doesn't matter. Because
I got-
guess what? Here we up.
Here we go. Wash both sides of the cup. Wash your legs, okay?
Yeah, son.
Episode 26. We
Wash
here.
all your cups.
Scale of -5 to 5. How's everybody doing today?
I'll hit it off real quick. I'll go with a.
It's giving high.
I'll go 3.5.
Ooh.
I don't know why. It makes no sense, but I'll go there. I don't have an explanation for it.
Doesn't matter. You feel good.
I feel like I'm the lowest. I'm gonna go in the middle, so you can end up on a good note. I feel like Don's doing better than me. I feel like I'm hanging on for dear life until vacation. I'm not gonna hold you. Like I went to go on vacation in May, and I was ready to go in May.
You was ready to hooch in May?
And
Springtime hooching?
fully loaded hooch in May. And the fact that it is now August, going in September, and I'm just now about to start getting my packing list together. I'm, not the happiest camper, but I will take it. But I'm hanging on for dear life. I'm like at a 1 1.25,
1 1/4.
depending on the moment, depending on the day.
I'm at like a 3.5, 4.
Oh, he's higher than me.
Like a 3.5.
I'm just happy that we're all on the positive side. But
We'll be positive. We're positive.
Don,
We
it's
good,
been a
we
couple
good.
weeks. Well, to explain that. Can you have any explanation for that almost 5-ness that you're experiencing right now?
So, I got a new job. So, like when I left my old job, like I felt like a weight was lifted off my shoulders. Like it's new beginnings. New beginnings can always be kind of scary, but it's going to pay out in the long run. So You know what I'm saying? Just looking forward to the future. Looking forward to.
I feel like, you know,
I like new energy. I like new things.
I feel like human beings can be creatures of habit, but I feel like once you get that new wind, that new freshness, it adds a little bit.
You got some new wind in your sails.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you can soar a little bit higher now.
So like, I feel like you going through what you going through is giving me my quarter to my one, my nigga.
Just giving
The extra 2.5, the extra your point.
You like seeing me win?
Absolutely.
It gives you the
win.
As I said before, I feel like winning is contagious. I feel like success is contagious. And you know, when you do better, it makes everyone else believe around you that they can do better as well. If you take a step up, he could take a step up. I have to get back on my grizzly, you know. So I'm happy to see you take that step up, and I'm about to like go in hibernation, full like, you know, put my head down and grind this fall season.
You can do September's right here, baby. That's it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Listen, vacation tips. You got to buy new socks, new drawers, new t-shirts. That's what I do when I go on vacation. Got to be all new.
New socks?
New socks, new drawers, new t-shirts.
I update.
Target, the good fellow, you can get some good socks.
I've been getting new t-shirts and new drawers, but I do need some new socks.
Are you going to give us a why?
It's all you just always want to be fresh and clean on vacation. All right, just want to peel one right out the pack, throw it on.
New tea,
good to go.
crispy,
Every
clean.
vacation, new socks, new
Gleaming.
drawers.
But
Gleaming in the light.
wouldn't that logic also apply to all clothes?
I didn't know how
does
crazy
the
Jerry
socks
went. I
and
didn't
the
know how
underwear have to
crazy.
be brand new?
I didn't know how crazy Jerry was gonna go. I know Jerry has a nice substantial wardrobe already.
Yeah.
So I said new socks, new socks, new t-shirts, new drawers. But when I do go on vacation, I like to pack everything new. But that's just me.
Yeah, we had this
I'm a
conversation off
bougie nigga.
air. We had
I'm a bougie nigga.
like when Don, he's like new kicks, new everything,
Yeah.
new shorts, new
be
tanks,
fresh.
new tees. But you know, Don, he does know me well. And right now, my wardrobe is at the point where it's like, all right, if I buy something new, if I'm splurging, it's probably going to be on one thing and not on multiple things.
Yeah.
So it's just like, all right, cool. And I honestly, I'm trying to save for a couple things. I feel guilty spending a substantial amount of money on one or two or three items. I do. But I might just do it because the wife was out here saying like, what you gonna buy for vacation? I'm like, you know what? This might be a reoccurrence. Maybe I do need to go out and get a couple new things, you know?
Yeah, treat yourself, King.
Exactly, man. You know,
There you go. Get some more shorts.
Not only on vacation. The shorts, I'm tired of shorts. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm ready for fall. I'm ready for fall. I'm ready for the layers.
You saying you hoochie daddied out?
I'm hoochie daddied out, my nigga.
No.
There was one day where it was like the high of 76. I'm like, oh, let me put on some long pants.
Wow.
Let me put on some joggers. Let me put something else on. But like, honestly, I feel like as men, especially during the summertime, our options to remain cool are limited. That's why we clean the hoochie daddy shorts.
I think that's only for non-driving niggas. I can rock jeans all year round. Why? The AC on 60.
Facts.
The windows is rolled up.
I hear you.
And I'm stepping out cooler than the motherfucker.
Facts.
Damn good point. Damn good point.
And he got
I'm just saying.
He got that German AC, so you know it hit different.
Because
Guten Tag.
if you outside for more than 2.5 minutes, if you outside for more than 2.5 minutes during between June and September, you need another shower. It's just that simple. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
I hate the season, man.
Perks of the car.
Yeah.
Take a shower, jump in the car.
Cool.
Yeah.
Take a nice brisk walks to the
Listen,
AC.
No swamp booty when you get there. Just cool.
Hopefully, by the time I get my whip, they have Wi-Fi AC or something like that, so I can turn it on when I'm in the shower.
Cars have Wi-Fi.
Cars have Wi-Fi?
You can turn on the AC through Wi-Fi.
have-
When did cars get Wi-Fi?
Can you turn on the AC? Can you turn on the AC through the Wi-Fi? That's my
Have you
question.
ever heard of auto start? Remote start?
Does that apply to AC?
Yes, it does.
All right, cool. Say no more.
Some cars have
That's
an
all I
app
need to
now.
know.
Some certain BMWs have an app. You can do it.
I need that.
All right.
Because for me,
If you buy a Yaris, you're not getting that though. So be mindful of what you buy.
because like for me, I feel like as soon as I'm out the shower, I need to go into a room with AC.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I'm getting dressed in that AC, I need to hop in the car with AC already booming.
Yeah, you can't linger in the heat too much.
Exactly. Again,
Putting our balls off.
listen, ladies and gentlemen, 2.5 minutes. 2.5 minutes. If you're a guy, you need another shower. Ladies, your guy needs another shower after 2.5 minutes in the heat. Period. It's over. It's a wrap.
2.5 minutes.
2.5
That's
minutes.
where you're going.
2.5 minutes.
That's the benchmark.
That's the benchmark. The humidity in NYC has been crazy, bro. Humidity hit different.
All right, 2.5 minutes. You heard it here, folks. You heard it first. 2.5 minutes.
2.5 minutes, bro. You need another shower. It's a wrap. It's over.
Hey, as long as it's about the shower, not other things, and that'll be.
What do you have to say for the people who don't have AC?
Nigga, you better go.
Did they just
move
not
to-
go outside?
Better move to Alaska.
To be quite honest, you have to make sure you have your toiletry bag on deck. That's all I can really say.
You gotta have those ball wipes. They have those.
Ball wipe, towel,
They have disposable ball wipes.
cold water. Listen, I'm 30 now. I walk around my thermostat.
Wait,
I walk around my thermos. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Okay, there's ball wipes.
Yes, there's ball.
Why do you know this? Or how do we know
What's
this?
wrong
to
with
have
hygiene?
Clean ball hygiene.
What's wrong with hygiene?
Y'all got ball wipes? Y'all be wiping your balls?
I don't have ball wipes. I'm thinking about investing in some ball wipes.
You're gonna get some ball wipes.
Honestly, that
Like,
sounds
you know,
good to
little,
me.
Little toiletry bag, you know.
Take a
Working
2
in the
minute
office, you keep it in your trunk.
Go to the gentleman's room, take care of myself, come back refreshed. What's wrong with that, huh?
You know what's funny? This girl.
When's the last
asked me-
time your balls was smelling like this?
What I
It's
say,
not
2.5
about-
minutes. I'm on foot, huh?
It's not about
Yo.
smelling. It's just about the comfort level. Like, you know.
Okay.
You might want niggas. You take a piss. You might want to wipe it down real quick.
Like the other
I mean,
day,
as you should be anyway. But
the other day, I was doing my laundry. I was in a laundromat. Laundromat ain't getting no AC. I was out here sweating profusely from my unmentionables, bro. That's it's crazy. It was had me out here looking.
So
crazy.
in that moment, you was like, "Damn, I need me some ball wipes."
if
You,
nah, nah.
if
That-
ball
that-
wipes fell from the sky above at that laundromat, would you have grabbed it and gone to the bathroom to wipe your balls?
absolutely,
listen,
absolutely. This is
Why?
the Braves. Why? Because I would prefer to have clean balls. What's up with that? But you rather have damp balls.
But
You're just
like,
out here walking with damp balls, Hans.
how is that affecting your life?
I
in
feel
that
like
moment.
I feel like you're wearing jeans today. I feel like you have damp balls as we speak.
I don't have damp balls. My balls are dry.
You powder your balls?
I'm proud of my balls.
I know. Did you powder your balls?
little baby powder.
I am proud.
I never
of
got
my
on that
balls.
baby powder wave.
Me neither. But
That shit gets everywhere. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
but I know certain gentlemen. We walk into the room right now. Their whole dress is powdered with a good layer
You
of.
speaking of somebody you know from.
Talking about them guys 350 plus.
I feel like I know who. I feel like you're related to one of these people.
If you carrying a sweat
I'm not
rag, you
Jerry
probably
throwing shade
carrying
in
around
my
some
eye.
baby powder. Ain't putting no
Oh,
names out
man.
there. Those two things
So
are
if I get
synonymous.
350 plus, all right, I'm not there.
350 plus.
All right, good. I got.
I gotta make that line of demarcation because I don't want to include me in that group. I use the baby powder.
I heard baby powder stops the sweating, but I never experienced it, bro. But
Don't
see,
stop
that-
no
see,
sweat.
I
That
feel
should be
like-
caking
I
up.
feel-
You be baking in them fucking jeans.
But the last thing I want to say before we get on topic, 'cause, you know,
Betty Crocker ass.
I feel like if you're putting baby powder on your body, can you ever have impromptu quickie? Like, what if you just like you gotta wash that baby powder off now?
I mean, I can't speak from experience. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the clause of procedure would be in that situation. I don't know.
Okay. So before we move on, we need
but
all
I
you.
feel like it's giving Reva the Ligo though. If you mad dark, got baby powder on, she might think, you know, this nigga got skin condition. Like,
That or you
some-
ashy as fuck.
I mean, but women like well-groomed men, even if it may be a little bit excessive.
Listen, man.
I don't know.
Listen.
I don't know. What?
Not gonna tell niggas what to do.
No.
But if it's summertime, 2.5 minutes. Listen,
Make it work. That's plenty of time.
If your shit look like you got buckwheat in the leg lock, might want to grab some clippers. That's not helping the sweat situation.
This episode has not been brought to you by Manscaped, all right?
Facts.
I didn't even mention them.
It
And now
hasn't
you
been-
mentioned them.
Now, hopefully they give us a couple of dollars for that.
No Johnson
They
and
should, 'cause I
Johnson.
bought their shit, so they should.
No Johnson and Johnson.
Listen,
No dude
I
wipes.
never knew they made so much stuff for balls. Like they got ball preserver, ball deodorant.
Wait.
They got whole, they got
Let's cut it right there.
50 different things.
We're gonna send it. We're gonna tag Manscaped in this video
I have so many questions.
with the
We don't have
timestamps.
enough time for that.
with the timestamps.
All right,
because we need to get our
You don't.
dollars.
I'm sorry.
Wow. Okay. Why are we here again? It's
I
definitely
feel
not
like
about
I've been
balls.
watching YouTube and like, how does Manscaped know I'm a guy watching YouTube?
Listen.
Watch all your ads are
what
going to
are
be
you watching?
Manscaped and ball related for the next 48 hours.
But
You're just going to
iPhone's
get dick and balls
iPhone
related
and Google,
products.
iPhone and Google listening. Hold
Stay
on,
listening.
Bailey. Do you get Manscaped ads on your YouTube? All right, cool. That makes me feel better about it.
They're popular now.
They're popular.
Popular now.
Damn,
It's
everybody
the-
got balls now.
It's that and Sasquatch. The Sasquatch like soap or whatever.
Everybody does. You know what? I just had to like. What if? You know, nigga bitches started wearing the strap on with balls. What if they had both?
Is this simply for
What if they
aesthetic?
started? Yeah. What if they started wearing the strap on with balls?
Because the first thing that popped into my mind is like
We're
it might be a
honest-
game situation. We have to work the balls in order to get the reward or something like that.
For that to work, we're going to have to up the dildo technology to where the balls can actually sway so you can get the slap Because otherwise, it's just a stiff set of balls. It's not hitting nothing.
Yeah.
We need to up dildo technology.
We could build it.
That's what I'm running for.
But the most
We could
important,
just be on the
we have to
street.
patent it.
We have to patent it. We could just be on the street. We set up like a dildo cart.
And we had that like a display
Like-
video of like what it would look like in action. We
Yeah.
need that. You know?
Yeah.
We need the whole setup.
Yeah.
All right.
Right?
The balls got to move, though. We can't have stiff balls.
So are we going for like a stretchy kind of situation? Are we going,
I feel like
we're on one right now. We are on one.
it's so uncomfortable.
This is how we get
We
after
had
hours?
so much better intentions for this episode.
This is how we are after hours? I don't know.
I guess.
To be fair, it's a male-centric topic, so to be fair, balls are included.
Oh my God.
Balls are included.
Get the strap.
That might be the fact.
No.
Balls are included.
No. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Imagine the graphics to that. Imagine the graphics to that one. That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. But
I'm just picturing teabagging. I don't know why.
But
if I could listen, if YouTube would allow the cover screen to be a GIF, that would be fire. I think I could drop some balls back and forth.
yo, Jerry. All right. It's time to get
This is the Sorry We Offended You podcast. So let's get to it, man. We didn't even introduce ourselves. Hold on.
Yo, what's good? I'm your host, Pod Poppy, aka Don.
Ooh,
It's your boy, the Big Paws, aka Hums.
it's Jerry the Show here. You know what it is, man. Mr. Photo.
Hoochie.
Yeah,
Out here.
Hoochie Daddy cameraman.
I'm the only one not.
This is the last episode of me, Hooch Daddy. I'm gonna call it right now.
Listen,
Until further notice. So who knows? Let's see how I feel next week.
you can take the daddy out of the hooch, but you can't take the hooch out of the daddy. All right.
Damn right.
That's a fact.
But Hans, this topic seems to be near and dear to you.
Okay. So today, I don't know what hit me. I was like being mad introspective, probably mostly into my own life. And I was just like wondering, especially with the banding of like Andrew Tate. Y'all know who Andrew Tate is, right?
Nope. I know what a taint is, though.
Educate. Please educate.
So it's like this quasi-American, quasi-European kickboxer guy who speaks a lot of rhetoric that is very chauvinistic and male-centric in like a male supremacy type of way. And it got to the point to where all these social media platforms have banned him essentially, even though if you go on there, all their clips are still fucking up there because it's insane. But to me, it led when I thought about him and his banning, and then I thought about the late Kevin Samuels. He's dead now, so R.I.P. Regardless of how you feel about the man, R.I.P. And then so it was Andrew Tate, then him, and like all these other people that pop up in this like fucking weird new social media influencer type shit. And I was just wondering, like, the lack of actual positive male leadership in the world today. And not even that, even like in my youth or per se. And it just made me start thinking like, why is it that way? And how did it become this way? Or even though that sounds like the same thing.
Can I just go off rip and say something that might be people? I know people gonna disagree with. I feel like you can't be a positive male leader and be popular or public. Because you can't be positive and male right now. You can't be overtly male right now because it's going to be seen as so many different types of ways.
Think niggas is under fire?
Absolutely, without a doubt. You have to be quiet. You have to be quiet. If you do anything that's too loud, it's going to be, it's going to come with a negative connotation or something like that. If you overtly stand for like, all right, cool, I'm a man's man. You don't hear niggas saying that no more. You can't say you're a man's man. You can't,
I think it's, I kind of agree with you, but I think it's a difference between like my dad's version of a man's man and like the newer version of a man's man. Because it seems like now.
What's the difference between those two?
My dad's version of like a man's man is like, open a door, pay bills, go to work, try to get promoted, keep your head up, be a leader, not a follower. Take pride in yourself, take pride in your family, kind of like those things. Like, and he leads by action. So I feel like the current be a man's man is like, let's shit on women a little bit. Let's shit on these other communities a little bit. I don't think it's all like, cause it's not because of, it's because of how they were raised. So like once that first generation of men weren't in the home and they weren't role models anymore, then it's like, where did those people look for role models? So I feel like we looked at athletes and we looked at rappers and we looked at fucking the big homie on the block selling mad crack. Like those were people's role models.
But I feel like it's almost as though if you big up men, and specifically big up men, it's almost as though you're belittling women. People can take it as such. It's like, all right, you're doing a great job as a man, so somebody will be offended. Like, you ever heard about that thing about, and this goes across the board, they want to delete Father's Day and Mother's Day.
Okay.
Because that's unfair to...
I don't want to say it.
You get what I'm saying? So
Who's it unfair to?
I don't want to misphrase, but they're trying to get rid of Father's Day and Mother's Day because that would be unfair to transgenders and
I know it.
their roles as mothers. Like, I don't understand it quite, but that doesn't... Anyone that is a mother is a mother. Anyone that is a father is a father, right?
Well, to be fair, we've been got rid of Father's Day. Father's Day don't mean no
Niggas
nothing.
are tired of tools.
Ain't nobody cared about Father's Day since the inception of Father's Day.
That Don knows. He would like a nice tie. Wouldn't you, Don?
Oh,
Now more than ever. Now more than
I
ever.
already bought them.
You bought some ties?
Yeah, I had to.
But can you use with a couple more? Maybe one tie a year.
Yeah.
One new one to the collection a year.
Because the only time niggas get anything.
I mean,
And their birthdays, maybe.
yeah.
Stop trying to give us pussy for gifts.
I mean, if they get... And we already addressed that, so I'm going to leave that one alone. All right. But, that's just an example of, I feel like even overall, like heterosexuality overall, that aside, right? But when you're... it's hard for a man to be bigged up or like on being a man and then not be like something that comes with some type of like gaslighting or backfire.
I think it's probably just depends on like, the person sometimes. Like, I don't hear too much negative shit about like people saying LeBron is a role model. Like, he's been with his girl since high school, raising 2 kids. They're not in the newspapers doing nothing crazy. Like, he's not in the newspapers doing nothing crazy. I get it. But I also feel at the same time that we gotta move away from the only role models that we have or think we have are celebrities.
I agree.
Or athletes or any of this stuff. Like,
I agree.
There's no role models in your community. Like, my friend was telling me, because I had asked her, and she actually was telling me like they have programs that they do have a lot of black male role models in. So there's a couple of programs. She said one is New York Urban League, one is CUNY BMI, Black Male Initiative, Project Thug.
I've heard of that. I had friends a part of the Black Male Initiative. When
Then she was like, they have a book called Dare Young Kings, Young, Black, and Fearless. And she said another mentorship program is YBF. It's a mentorship for a group of black men in Brooklyn. So there's programs out there. I just wish that people would, or kids would go to these things. And and the reason I'm trying to not be like, it's like a woman's fault or the mother's fault because you're a single mother, but it's also like that father left, but you have to find other alternatives. So like if you're a single mother, I know you're working and stuff like that. Just because you're working doesn't mean your kid should be running the street. Like, put his ass in a program.
Yeah, because parents overall have to understand the value of both role models being present: a female role model and a male role model, masculine role model and a feminine role model, because both are necessary in the proper development of a child.
I agree.
Both 100% necessary. So whether you put this child in a program, whether you put him on a football team because you believe the coach is a good male role model, or you put this person in like the swimming team because the good female role models, or vice versa, whatever the case may be, it's imperative for someone to see someone that is in authority in a healthy way for a child to look up to that that may be lacking at their home life.
Right. So I feel like kids need like a melting pot of things, right? So if your kid is constantly you're at work, your kid is constantly running the street, they're gonna meet the same type of people running the street. Those are gonna become their role models. Like, I want to be just like him because that's what I've seen all my life. But if you put your kid in different dynamics, like if your kid goes to play organized sports, or your kid goes to like a tutoring program, or he goes to like Boys and Girls Club, or he goes to like, even if he does hang out at summer camp on the park, he has a bunch of different aspects to see a bunch of different things. Like, I've bore witness to a lot of different things. And then witnessing things, you realize like, maybe I don't want to go that direction. I kind of want to go this direction. But I also feel like mentorship, like I'm still getting mentored. Like I had a mentor at my job. I find like as a black man, there's not a lot of black men who are doing really anything with their lives.
And
so it's kind of hard to find a mentor, but you should definitely like open your eyes to certain things. Like even my friends motivate me. Like you guys telling me that like me getting promotion was like motivation for you. Like when you guys do certain things, that's motivation for me. Or like I don't hate people's aspirations or goals. Like if I see somebody like doing something positive with their life and developing and doing great things, I use that as driving motivation. But you got to teach that to your young kids too. You have to instill that upon them. Like just because this person, how did that person get where they're at now? Like if you want those things, you have to be able to do the same things they did, or you have to do it better. You have to be able to achieve something. It's not just about like, I want, or, I'm going to give you. You have to instill some type of values in your kid in order to get them to those points.
And I agree because like, I remember me as growing up Haitian, like my parents are from Haiti, so they had old school values, right? So I was never in summer camp. I was never part of basketball camp, football camp, nothing, no part of the team and nothing like that. And then on the flip side, my first long-term full-time job was for the YMCA. I was able to join the football league later on in life. And it's like so many other benefits. I may not become a NFL player. I may not become an NBA star, nothing like that. But there are lessons that you learn from other people around you, your coach and your other teammates and all these kind of things about life, period. So all those kind of things that you were mentioning earlier are investments. Getting your kids into these kind of situations are investments.
What's on your mind, King?
It's crazy. Like when you were just going through your analogy and like what drives you, what motivates you, like the word that popped in my head was representation.
Yeah.
And like we're in an age of like diversity and everybody needing to see people that look like them in places in order to like give them some sort of comfort or like some sort of connection. Like like with the whole Barack Obama thing for like black kids,
the ability to relate.
You can relate to.
President.
I see a black president. That means I can possibly be a black president. So like with the whole like mentor and leadership things, you don't see that much representation of positivity in the male leadership, and especially in the black male leadership, or even the ones that are positive are like Bill Cosby. No, I don't need to say anything more about that. Like one face says another thing, his action says a different.
Right.
But there's a lot of those in the community. Like I've met them in these places. It's fucking weird. But like, is this like a form of representation that we don't talk about very often, or we don't see very often, or don't discuss?
Which form?
I think that
The form of young males seeing positive men, community, or even a little bit further outside the community doing positive things. Because I feel like a lot of the stuff around men nowadays, or even in the back days, is negative. It's kind of hard to not go on the internet and see a whole bunch of negative connotations of what a man is by everybody.
I think men are under fire, like especially straight black men.
I mean,
Like
more
I think
than
we're public
now,
enemy number one right now.
even if you look back over the past 30 plus years that we've been living, like overall.
Yeah, we've always been public enemy number one. I think social media has just brought it more so to the forefront, and it's even more like you're kind of realizing like it's everyone now. Before it was just like you had to look out for like the white man or the white people, like because I'm black in this community, I had to look out for them. But now it's kind of like you have to look out for like your own people. It's like my friend asked me earlier today that she's like, do you feel like black women create a safe space for black men? And I was like, nah.
Sorry.
Like I feel like there's a very small portion who do.
Yeah.
But there's a greater portion
It's
who
difficult
don't.
though. It's difficult. That's the topic of conversation that we've been meaning to have. But like it's difficult, but no.
But certain women know, certain women try. But it all falls back to like everything. Like I always say, there's always going to be shitty people or ancient people. So like the good people who are suffering, the shitty people who have ruined it for other good people. So like once you've had a bad experience with someone, you're kind of like, you build up this wall. You don't want any more bad experiences.
You're damaged.
Now you're
in
starting to
some type
lump
of way.
people into like the same group.
Yeah.
But if you don't leave your comfort zone and try to meet other people and see what's out there, then you're never going to meet other people who are creative or other people who are positive people. But I think we also have to kind of like give back to our communities ourselves. I feel like in a Black community, and I think about it now because I'm not gonna say I do this, but it's like we feel like we can't give back to our community unless we become famous, unless we become rich. Like I feel like all of us right now could go volunteer at Boys and Girls Club or go volunteer for like a Big Brother, Big Sister program. And like, you know, maybe one day we will, but it's like, we can just do those things. We don't have to be rich or we don't have to have money to do those things to try to be like a positive impact on another generation. But it's like, at the same time, you have to put your kids in those programs to see those people. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I get you.
There's no way that some kid sees me walking down the block and they're like, hey, he looks like a good role model. I'm gonna go talk to him.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You got to put your kids in certain areas to be around good people.
So I have multiple things to like address Hans' statement / question. I feel like it's always been important, but I'm not, because when you watch certain pop things from like the 90s when we were growing up, it's always been like that, underlying tone almost. Because they understood, like, honestly, I grew up with TV. I'm the youngest brother, right? I'm the youngest of three.
You was raised by the television?
I was raised by the television. I was also raised by my brothers. So for me, I grew up almost having a nature of living vicariously and just observing and watching the people that's in front of me. So naturally, I already had two role models in front of me. My middle brother is 3 years older than me. My older brother is 7 years older than me. So naturally, I'm going to look up to them because, if I'm 6, my brother's 13. He's a teen. Everything he does is cool. He knows the trends, whatever the case. He know how to get girl. All these kind of things. I'm gonna look up to that, whether it be things that are beneficial or whatever the case may be. So naturally, I just had this nature of just like observing people around me. And my dad was around, and I was able to learn what to do and a lot of what not to do from my dad. But my dad also had friends that were the parents of my neighbor, like, I go to school with this person. I know her dad, his dad, whatever the case may be. So I had little people chiming in and dropping nuggets of knowledge and stuff like that. So, and I was the type of person that I was hard-headed, but also I listened too. So if somebody told me something that seemed like good advice, I would listen. I may test the waters for myself, but that knowledge was still there. So I naturally, being the youngest, I just naturally had this thing where I observe people and see what they did wrong, what they did right, what I want to emulate, what I want to take, what I want to drop, all those kind of things. But it's always been crazy important. And like, I think that me jumping out of high school straight into the YMCA, being a role model for kids, especially predominantly Black kids in the summer camp programs, the after school programs I was working at, I wore that with a badge of honor. You get what I'm saying? Working with youth in my church and stuff like that, I always like wear that with a badge of honor. Like, all right, cool. I'm gonna try my best, and I'm gonna try to do like whatever I do. I'm gonna do it with excellence, just to show these people that may be behind me what excellence looks like. I'm going to show that so they could practice that and show that it's possible. Just like you were saying with Barack Obama, if these kids could see something that's possible with someone that they relate to and know or looks like them or whatever the case may be, their idea of what's possible would change. Like now, I teach kids how to do photography. These kids the youngest one is 5.
I feel like I promoted that. I feel like I told you to do it. I feel like you should give lessons.
I
got the video. I got the audio and the video to prove I said
it. everything fell into place. Like, I do want to work with kids more, but
So you Mr. Jerry now?
I've been Mr. Jerry for like 12 years, 13 years.
You've
now.
been Mr. Jerry for a minute.
I've been Mr. Jerry. Mr. Jerry. Nah, but
Oh God.
Nah, shit. So anyway,
Hans, what? So
I got another question.
I have a question for you first.
Go.
What do you think makes a good role model? What do you think a good role model looks like?
Good question.
I think a good role model is very simple in its core, and I'm not even gonna say I like to think I'm a good role model because I don't know who am I role modeling for, and I'm not even biblical or like I studied the Bible, but like do unto others as you would like to be done unto yourself. Like, be a good person because you want to be a good person, not because the world tells you to be a good person.
Yeah.
And if you're able to have that core value in you and it spreads, I feel like that's a good role model. It has nothing to do with money, it has nothing to do with fame, notoriety. It's just about being a good person and treating others how you would like to be treated. To me, that's a good role model. And it's hard to find that, especially in today's day and age where everyone thinks they're the main character. We're a little more selfish now than we used to be. So it's kind of hard to find those actual good people in this world. Or as a kid to find that, because you don't know what that is.
But you know, like you use that phrase, quote, verse, whatever you want to call it. A lot of people don't like hear that. All right, cool, taught that. That you know how people say it's cliche. I believe that cliche is oftentimes the truth, right? A lot of people hear that and they might, all right, cool, but they don't live by that.
No.
You get what I'm saying? So I feel like a lot of people are like, yeah, that makes sense. but most of the world don't operate like that. And honestly, the world kind of builds you to be selfish because it's like, all right, cool, you have to get yours. You got to get in your bag. If people do you wrong, you got to cut them off. Like, all right, cool. No. If you want to do unto people as you would like to be done unto you, even when you treat it wrong, you still have to treat those people as you want to be treated, right? But the world teach you contrary.
I like cutting people off though.
I mean, it feels good. It feels good. But what Hans is saying is difficult.
Don't cut me off. I will rip your throat out.
I keep my circle small.
You talking about road rage, Hans? I feel like you talking about road rage. His road rage been crazy.
Red road rage.
If I'm wanting to talk, do not cut me off.
Nah. My thing is like, so I believe in a little bit of what you're saying, but I feel like it's more so of I keep saying it, but it takes like a village, right? I think that at every point in your life, you can meet people who can shape and mold you. So like my father, my sister, my mother, like my family, up until like a certain point. Then when you hit that work environment, when you hit that environment of
different spaces,
you're going outside alone. Your parents are not watching you anymore. You don't have constant supervision. That's when you develop truly as a person because you got to decide that moment what path you're going to travel. So me personally, I've never been the type to like want to be in trouble, want to get in trouble. I just have a sixth sense for when bad shit is going to happen. And I don't like that. I don't like that sixth sense feeling like, oh, this shit's going to go left. Like, I hate that feeling. I try to avoid it as much as possible. Now, shit pops, we could get busy. But other than that, I really don't want to.
Last resort.
But I feel like in terms of like what Hans was saying also, it's partly like the people you surround yourself with. Like, even if you do have a good role model, you can still veer off path. You have to keep good people around you. Like, everybody I hang out with is motivated. Everybody is doing something positive or trying to do something positive with their life. If they're not, like, I'm big on encouraging my friends to do other things. It may come off as like pushy sometimes, but it's like, if I'm about to be on $1 million yacht, I don't want to be on $1 million alone. I want you to be on $1 million yacht with me, and you got to do certain things to get on that yacht.
It's kind of like
yourself.
It's kind of like God did. Like, you know, once you make a Billy, you want everybody around you make a Billy. You don't want to live up there by yourself.
Exactly. So it's like, you know, it's also in finding good friends. Like, I think it's like a hierarchy chart. Like, you have to have like role models. You have to have good friends around you, because once those role models aren't around you or they're not here anymore, you know, God forbid, the people around you, your group of friends, your support system, they're going to also guide you.
I want to tag team that because you talk about like a word.
Hey yo.
That topic.
One dick in the room, bro. One dick in the room.
To tag team that point.
Okay. I get what you're saying now.
Nah, but you know, I feel like the word that popped in my head was responsibility. Like, responsible. You know, as individuals responsible for two things. One, finding the right crowd to be encouraged by, be mentored by, and also understand that we always have the opportunity to mentor as well. Just like Hans was saying, he had no idea who he's mentoring, but he always carries that demeanor and mindset with him, right?
Yeah.
So you have two-sided responsibility. Always make sure that we're in a circle that we could grow with, and also we contribute to who may be watching around us, you know. And I remember another topic that Don pointed out was like, you know, good friends. Like, there was a meme that was going around that said like, in order to keep good friends, you have to be a good friend. You get what I'm saying? And I'm fortunate enough to have a nice amount of good friends.
You're welcome.
But honestly, that goes to the point of cutting off, right? If you cut off people that honestly aren't good friends, so be it. But I always believe that, side a little tangent, if this person was a good friend, have that conversation, bro. If something you heard about, something that rub you the wrong way, whatever the case may be, have the conversation, reconcile, continue that friendship. Anyway, back to the topic.
Damn, I had a question. I'm gonna piggyback this question onto your village.
You piggybacking because you can't tag team copy.
It's a one-man show.
That's what I'm saying.
Quote the GOAT, Dave Chappelle. There's only one dick in this fantasy, and that's my dick, and it's in the starring role. All right, but let's continue. With the whole village dynamics, I always wondered, I do agree with that. It takes a whole bunch of people to raise a child properly. What do we say to those kids who don't have those dynamics? I'll just fucking use myself. I feel like I'm a perfect example of that. I don't feel like I had very much positive male leadership throughout the great majority of my life. I can't relate to Don and his dad and your relationship. I don't have that. Your relationship with your dad, Jerry, is a little more rocky than mine was, but I can't honestly say that my dad was a positive male role model. So I couldn't go home and see that. And then as a shy kid who is that kid, you were giving the example to the Boys and Girls Club, or just sees a random guy in the street that looks nice, hey, you look like a nice dude. Let me be your role model. Can you be my role model? I didn't learn to start talking to people until college. Mm-hmm. So there's no avenues for me to get any sort of leadership or guidance. I didn't really have my cousins because they were out of state or far away. I didn't have my brother because he was far away and in his own shit, doing his own stuff. And I'm it made me think about all those kids who are like me, who are good, but lost, and how that affects them. So I was wondering, what do you say to kids like that who are good intentioned, who are on the cusp that could be great, but without the lack of leadership, they just stagnate and get complacent?
Bruh, I don't fucking know.
I know that was a loaded ass
I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna say. I feel like there's so many points in that question or statement that I want to hit. First and foremost, if the thing is you do need that positive male role model, but you need good role models in general. So I give my dad a lot of credit, but my sister also helped. My mom also helped. But my mom, my stepmom, whatever, comes from a different place. It's if she sees someone who might need therapy, she'll be I think you need to go to therapy. Therapy is a big thing. I think as a parent, as a single parent, if you're a single parent, if you're not a single parent, if you're dealing with somebody or you're talking to a person and they're in your kid's life, those people also need to be positive role models in your kid's life. You can't be around ancient people and have your kids around ancient people. I think that also, it's also luck of the draw sometimes. I wasn't a quiet kid and I had good friends. And then through those good friends, I became a better person. I learned how to navigate certain social norms. But I think I would basically tell that kid kind of not to give up. I think kids are really, really way more self-aware than we were at their age, especially now, talking to my niece, she's way more self-aware than I was at her age. So I think that they need to talk to their parents, tell their parents how they feel, see if they need to go to therapy, see if they need if they want to go to an after school program. I think a lot of days kids watch all of these YouTube videos and they're stuck in social media, and then social media doesn't even have enough of a positive influence on people's lives. To tell kids, all these YouTube videos they watch, there's not one or too many YouTube videos that would be if you're feeling depressed, talk to your parents if you need to go to therapy. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a lot of things that we're not doing correctly as a society for our younger generation. I also think that some of the kids in the younger generation not that approachable. There's a lot of little dickheads running around here.
Facts.
I think it's a really hard question. Pause. I think it's it's super difficult to navigate in today's society, and I don't know. I don't envy kids now with content overload and social media and all of these things. It's just, I honestly I don't know.
I feel like it's definitely a difficult question because it's like, you're bigger than me, but I still see you as a little brother because you're a few months younger than me, right? But I feel like you're asking the question, so it's like I'm thinking, all right, cool. I answer the question, Hans. And for you, for like anybody that, because honestly, we're still learning, we're still growing. Like I remember seeing this quote that kids are watching their parents grow up as well. People don't think about it like that, but if I have a kid, I'm growing, I'm learning this adulting thing, right? So if I was to talk to a peer about this topic, I would just say like, yo, do you feel like you're done learning? Do you feel like you're too old for a mentor? Do you feel like you're past that point where you're setting your ways? Do you feel like that about yourself? Because if you feel like that, if you feel like you are, then you know the case may be lost. But if you feel like you still can learn something, then you absolutely can. You know, but talking to an adult like that, they could put themselves in different situations where they could possibly learn from people. But then you talk to a 20-year-old, teenager, young teenager, like a 12-year-old, 11-year-old, so on and so forth. It's, you know, the decision making and putting themselves in the right rooms will be a lot more difficult. And for them, I would just say like, you know, especially at that age, it's like, all right, who do you see that may not be the coolest, but is consistent? You know, when you think about good, who you think about someone that's good? It, you know, and I would say to that kid, you know, if you see them fixing their car, ask them if you could watch. If you see them fixing a bike or doing anything that looks the least bit cool in their yard or whatever, if a kid's walking down the neighborhood, which kids don't really, I don't feel like kids don't really do nowadays, but that person that you may second guess as cool, oh, that person not that cool, ask them, you know, if they're fixing their car, ask them like, oh, what you doing? Because I was watching a movie yesterday, and honestly, I know very little about cars. And my dad was out here fixing the cars here and there, but I never stuck around. But there was one guy in my neighborhood named Pompey. I'm not sure if it was a real name or a nickname. But
Gotta be a nickname. Ain't nobody named their child Pompey.
I mean, he was old. He passed away. Rest in peace, right? But he was always out here working on his car, fixing some kid's bike, you know, doing some kind of like handiwork of stuff like that in the neighborhood. And whenever you go up to him, he wouldn't hesitate to drop knowledge.
Yeah.
And it's always those kind of people that may be overlooked, that people may not be considered cool, or may be like, not be like I want to be like that person. That's always consistent, always there. And if someone say like, yo, I just want to hang out or watch whatever you're doing for a little bit, they'd be like, all right, cool, whatever.
I think that, and it's like a Hans thing. Like, society's changing, we failing the kids. That's all it really is. Society's definitely failing kids now. Because like Jerry says, like back in the day, you used to go outside, you sit on your front stoop, you knew your neighbors, you knew what your neighbors were doing. Like you played across the street. Like you just did certain things. Like society today is failing the kids. And not only society, the government's failing the kids. New York City is failing the kids. Like people like, all right, now we finally got free pre-K. You got parents who can't afford to like send their kids to daycare, like having them stay with like their grandmother or something. They're not really having they're not having much social interaction. Mm-hmm. They're not around like really good role models. I'm not saying grandma's not a good role model, but grandma's 90. You can't relate to grandma.
Yeah, it's limited.
But like when we were growing up, you had all of these free after school programs. You go to the after school programs. Then you had summer camp. You go to summer camp. You had like summer, like whatever, you know what I'm saying? You had certain things that you could go to, that you could put your kids in, and they would be around other people and they would see different things in different environments. You know what I'm saying? So like if you stay in one environment your whole life, you're bound to be stagnated. You're really not gonna.
You know, the reason I want to interject is because Hans was out here in like baseball teams and in these different kind of spheres. You get what I'm saying? And he still ended up not having those figures and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think like even though I think with Hans, right? I think that now that he's an adult, he can articulate it more of how he felt then. Mm-hmm. But I think back then he didn't articulate it because he didn't know what he wanted to articulate. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So a kid at his age then is not going to be like, I don't have any role models and I'm upset about it. They don't necessarily know that
they need it.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think that in the testament to Hans, is like an old testament to all of us, we've all been through certain things. And then Hans didn't give up as a person. It wasn't like, you know what? I don't see a role model of my dad like that. My brother's not here. Fuck it, I'm gonna sell drugs. Because at the end of the day, you still had.
I could have sold.
We
drugs.
know, but you had the opportunity. You was like, nah, I'm not for you. I don't
that.
want to hang out with you no more. And you
that.
stopped being friends with that kid. I remember that episode. But it was the same thing. Like you necessarily didn't have that, but you still had someone in your older sister who really cared about you, who wanted you to go a certain way, because she probably also saw a lot of the things out there. She probably saw creep niggas out there, probably saw all of these whack niggas out there doing things that she didn't want you to end up like that. I think for the most of us, we had those type of people in our lives where they didn't want us to end up like that. Like my dad did some shady shit back in his life. And I make fun of him for it now because it's kind of like when I was growing up, he'd be like, you got to be in the house by 7. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't go nowhere. I'm like, damn, nigga, you was doing all this wild shit. I can't do nothing. He was like, nah, I don't want that life for you. I was like, all right, you got it. No problem. Granted, I did my dirt here and there, but it always was like in the back of my mind, you hear that voice in the back of your head, like, all right, let me bring my black ass home before I start wilding out.
Yeah.
I think that, again, like we place a lot of emphasis on single parent homes about the father not being there. And honestly, it's true. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying this right. I'm not saying that, niggas shouldn't be there for their kids or should like to leave their kids. What I'm saying is you got to get the fuck over that. If these niggas leave, they're not coming back, you can't harp on that shit. Because you sitting there harping on it, now your kid is picking up on that energy, and you're not paying him enough attention because you worried about the nigga who left. And put your kid in the after school program, give your kid some attention, take him to therapy, and teach him that, you don't have to be, a woman can teach a man how to be a man in certain ways. The problem I have is that women don't realize that, the effect that they can have on raising a young man. Like I said, if your son is out there doing dirt and you out there supporting his bullshit, by the time he's 30, 40, he gonna be a bum still. Like, cause you supported that. That's his learning curve. That's where he learned it from.
I feel like as parents, anybody about to be a parent, anyone that has any desire to be a parent, you have to be educated. You may think what's best for you will also be best for your kid. That could be completely contrary. Just because you good without that nigga does not mean that this child is good without his dad, period, right? Or a male figure. Like, one thing we all have to be educated on is that both parts are necessary. Kids are more well-rounded when they have a home that loves them from both sides.
Right.
Both sides being represented, whatever shape, form that may take. Masculine, feminine form being loved, and them being loved by both sides.
And not to cut you off, but I don't want people to get it twisted. Fuck these niggas who don't take care of their kids first and foremost. I don't believe in that shit. I don't know how you can have kids and see your kid and just spin off and be like, I don't have no kids, or play dumb or do whatever the fuck shit you doing. That shit is corny as fuck to me. But at the same time, if you knew niggas was corny before, I'm sure that wasn't the first time that nigga was corny.
So responsibilities on both parties. Dads, if you got a kid,
take care of your fucking kid. Put these niggas on child support.
Moms, if you got a kid, take care of your kid. And the best way to do that, regardless of the situation, one of the ways is to make sure, and of course I'm not a parent. People say, well, if you're not a parent, don't tell nobody how to parent. But studies show when you have masculine and feminine love within the household, the child is more likely to succeed. And that's what we want at the end of the day. Period. That's what we're crying about right now. That's what we're doing boohooing about right now. We want, better households for, the generation to coming up behind us.
Kids.
Period.
He's cheering.
So it's not about what's best for you, but what's best for that kid.
Listen, if you a single mother, you got a male best friend, listen, bring him by your male best friend if he's a good role model. If he's a good person, bring him around him. If that's your best friend, hopefully he is a good person.
Uncle Luke, whatever.
You know what I'm saying? If you're a best friend,
Uncle Luke.
If you talk about
that's not a good role model.
It's a great role model. Two Live Crew, that's a great role model.
If you talking about free my mans every other week, that might not be a role model for your kid. If you want to post free my mans, free my bro, 10 toes, that's cool and all, but your kid don't need to be around that all the time. I'm just saying, it just takes every single person in a kid's life has an impact on that kid's life, whether they notice it or not.
Yeah, so parents acknowledge that a village is needed, does not make you any less of a parent, doesn't make you any less capable. It's just what's necessary. Because regardless as how capable we are, we're not perfect. And the best chance for kids to succeed is the closest thing to perfection. When you have more people, you have more strengths.
These kids
playing
need
into it.
guidance. In order to guide these kids, you have to be guided yourself. At the end of the day, if you hurt, if you're a hurt person, there's no way you can raise a healthy human being. There's no way possible that you're dealing with emotional stress and trauma and be hurt. And you gotta seek sometimes. You can't be hurt raising an individual.
You have to, at the very least, be on the path to health.
Right.
At the very least, acknowledge your hurt, acknowledge your damage, and be on the way to becoming better in order to show your kid how to get better. Because how can you expect your kid to be better than the product that they have to emulate? How would they know what better is? If all that's being shown is a 2 out of 10 their entire lives, how would they know what a 10 even looks like? How would they know how to thrive to strive for a 10? They can't, because all they know is 2. To them, 2 is a 10.
I think we should make a pact.
A pact, okay.
Yeah, let's make
blood oath. We
No.
like blood and spit. No, damn. All right.
I only spend on one thing. That thing ain't here right now. Okay. What I was gonna say is, I think so we can put our money where our mouths are next year, by the end of this year, or within a year time, we should go sign up for like a mentorship program and try to be mentors.
I'm done.
I think me and Maha should go same day sign up
I'm cheating
and see what happens.
I'm okay. I'm already cheating.
Well, you teaching kids how to be little creeps with the camera. That doesn't count.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. But I feel
Little
like
TMZ motherfuckers.
in order to be like, we gotta go out there and try. Like, and that's even why, like, I try to be like the best person I can be too, like around my niece, around my friends' kids, around like, because I never want to be like that uncle sitting on the crate drunk at every party, like not doing nothing with his life. Like, yeah, I be drunk at the party sometimes, but you could be like, your uncle got a good job, or this is,
You want to be the fun-loving uncle, the successful,
To be
fun-loving.
around outside.
And I think that's like a testament to you as a person too, and me being a role model. Because like I never told like any of my friends to make me like a godfather. I never told any of my friends to have your kids call me their uncle. Like they just know, that's Uncle Don. Like, they know I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm together. I'm not, nobody has life completely figured out. Right? I'm still learning, but I'm together. And it's like, I have a mentor. And my mentor be like, yo, you fucking up in this area. You gotta do certain things. You gotta do it. You gotta move this way. And I feel like even as friends, never be afraid to tell your friend, like, yo, you need to do better. Like, never be afraid to tell a kid, like, I'm not gonna tell no kids on the street shit, because today's society, this should go left quick.
But once you become a big brother to a little brother,
I would want to be a mentor. I think we should go try it. I think we should try to give back to the community. Even we ain't rich, but we could try to give back to we might find some Hondas out there we could save.
and I respect that mindset, because a lot of people point, like, regardless of the issue, a lot of people have a lot of things to say about it, but there's a simple solution that may be difficult. Right? Simple, but can be difficult because it requires commitment that a lot of people just ain't taking up. Yeah. And I like, this is a problem that we all see. And I love this pact because it's just like, all right, cool, we have to be a part of the solution. A lot of people just point the finger and say, this is what's wrong, that's what's wrong. But honestly, if we're capable of being role models, and the three of us definitely are, because I'm gonna give y'all roses. Y'all are amazing guys. Even Hans, that may feel like he needs a mentor. He's pretty good to be thinking that he didn't have one. To believe that he didn't. He came out amazingly.
I feel like part of growing up, a part of knowing something was wrong, a part of like bettering yourself as a person is being able to reflect on who you are as a person. So like, you may do it in a joking manner, you may do it in a serious manner, but if you could be like, yo, this side of my personality ain't shit, and I admit that, but I'm working on it. But you got to be self-reflective. Like, we got to know where we came from, so that way we can change things for us, ourselves in the future, and other people in the future.
Agreed.
I feel like I haven't talked in a minute. It's fine. Y'all out here spitting. It's cool.
Go ahead,
I don't mind driving the conversation with questions, but then I also don't want to put it out there to make it seem like I don't have any role models. Like, what I'm trying to preference is the lack of male role models. I've had plenty of female role models who have been the bomb diggity from the very beginning, and I've learned. Diggity. I know I'm throwing it back. I'm old, but like, who've very much shaped me into the person you see today. But there is part of me that feels like part of it's missing, and if it's not them, the people the women role models who have done such a great work in making me the person I am, and I still feel like there's a piece missing. And it's clearly
at 21,
and it's clearly not the women, so it has to be something on the male side that I feel like I haven't had to the extent like you guys have had.
But you got me and Jerry.
Hans, do you feel like it's too late?
Bro, you come a long way, son. I remember when I first met you, Joey's like, my brother, you should hang out with him. I'm like, all right.
Because I like.
Hans was my first little brother. I was in the little brother program, big brother program, unofficially.
I was your first mentee.
Yeah, he was my first mentee.
You feel like it's too late?
It ebbs and flows sometimes because you're not getting any younger.
I mean,
Do you feel like if you were to become a role model and you helped a younger generation
It's
not
hard.
feel how you felt, you think that would make you feel a little bit better how things were with you?
I feel like I can only do that once I feel comfortable with who I am and where I am at the moment. I don't feel, and you're probably going to say no.
that's your overthinking. That's your overthinking kicking in.
It don't matter, but it is what it is. I don't feel like I'm in that place where I can properly mentor someone younger than me. One, I don't feel like there's as much as a difference between the two of us, or like I don't feel like there's a big enough drastic
That's what makes a good mentor.
change in my life. But like, it's hard for me to speak to, say, a young male about having to like pay bills or do jobs and do all like super adult stuff when I don't feel like I'm adequately doing that myself.
Yeah,
Like
but
I don't feel like I can mentor someone properly.
But that's what makes a good mentor.
Hans, what do you do?
Hold on, give me a second. So like the things you just mentioned, right? You know that certain aspects of our growing up, our parents failed us. Doesn't matter how good of a mentor my dad was, failed me when it came to finances. That shit I had to figure out on my own. So like if you have someone who's in the same boat, and a lot of us at this same age are in that same boat, because we're in the same generation. Most of us, all the black people already know, except for like the very few handfuls, our parents, shit with credit, shit with finances, like living hand and foot. You know what I'm saying? Like check to check. That's how it was. But if you're a mentor and you can tell a kid like, it's okay. It might be like that sometimes, but it doesn't always have to be like that. That's all you really got to be able to do. Because you can relate more to that. If you go be a mentor and you got $1 million, you roll up in the BMW, you roll up in, all right, I have a BMW, but you roll up in certain things, that little kid may not be able to relate to you. Like, nigga, you ain't had to do all of the stuff I had to deal with, but you can deal with that by, listen, my mother couldn't afford this, all right, neither come on. I still can't afford that shit, but it don't mean you got to be a shit person. And that's what Jerry was kind of saying earlier. Like, you don't have to have no one's going to have every aspect of their life together, especially not a black man in this day and age. From our generation, you're not gonna have it all together.
Well, I feel like I don't have enough answers. So I have way too many questions at this point in my life that I don't have any answers for anyone younger than me.
But then that's the part. That's the part. But the part I love about friendship, and the part I love about growing up, and the part I love about certain things is then you go find those answers together with someone. So if you don't have that answers, like even a teacher, like if the teacher doesn't have that answer, we're gonna go find that answer.
I want to tackle it from the flip side. Hans, you mentored me a few times. So I feel like you have this pedestal level of idea of what a mentor is. There's been times when we worked on projects, whether it be with like a recording, and you had to teach me. And you had to, no. Don't belittle it. Because you do it a lot, right? When you volunteer in John Jay, what do you do? What do you do?
I'm assuming you're going to say mentor.
You mentor.
Whoa.
Because I want to get him out of his own head. He overthinks this. You already are a mentor. You just don't think of yourself according to whatever definition you have in your own head. You already do it, bro. You already do it. And like, I heard this one quote. I love quotes, right? I heard this one quote.
We know.
Quotes in movies.
Oh, we know.
And movie quotes. Oh, no, don't let it be a movie quote.
You're never too high to learn, and you're never too low to teach. Period. You're never too high to learn from somebody, and you're never too low to teach somebody that you may consider above you. Period. So I damn, son.
I forgot that was there.
Got him.
I ate that like a champion, though. Didn't take the headphones off or anything.
I'm not sure if that's coming out through louder or something like that. That almost burned a hole through my brain. But I want you to hold on to that, because I feel like you mentioned in past episodes that you overthink and then rethink, then overthink again. I feel like that gets you probably view yourself from yourself, and we're on the outside looking in, and yo, bro, like you're already doing it. You're already
shit.
You already are amazing. So it's just like, yo, son, like it's not by chance. Like you may look up to us, but you're a peer amongst us. You get what I'm saying? You may feel like, all right, cool, you're chasing up. Nah, bro, you're a peer amongst us, period. So I need you to stop thinking like that, bro. You're not going to change from that, from me saying that, but, bro, you're already out here,
Never
bro.
know, he may change.
I mean, who knows? Maybe
everybody growing every year, boy. We're growing every day, actually.
Step by step, brick by brick, you know. But, yeah, man, you ready?
Every little step on.
Yeah, but I know that there's certain areas in your life that you want to grow in, and that requires time, bro. Each of us is sitting here. None of us are quite happy with where we're at one point of our life or another, period. So each of us are feeling like, yo, son, I need to step my game up. You're not the only one feeling that. Each of us feel inadequate in one way or another. You're not the only one feeling that.
And the reason I think you'll be a good mentor, too, is because I feel like you learn not to suffer in silence. And I feel like certain things be hurting you, and you started speaking on it more and more. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of kids, right?
Hey,
it doesn't matter. It happened, though.
Some people die not knowing how to speak,
it doesn't matter. It happened. And I feel like there's a kid out there somewhere right now suffering in silence, not knowing if anybody ever felt like the way they do, not having someone to tell them, like, go to therapy, not having someone to be like, maybe find an outlet, not having anybody to do any of those things. So I feel like everyone has something to offer, even in the smallest capacity. It doesn't really matter. You know what I'm saying?
But it's also like, like how, like Don mentioned earlier, he has a mentor now. Like it's never too late to like, all right, cool. It could be it's someone older than you, younger than you, someone that just has one thing that you want to aspire toward or learn from or glean from. Like you have a mentor, and that just so happens to be a female. Like the word you put the quote title on her mentor when you like talk to me, right? But like you could have multiple for multiple reasons. I could this the person for that. That's the person for this, and it's okay to still be a student, because I feel like if you're living life in the moment you feel like you learned everything, you're probably stupid. You're probably like ignorant, in the worst form, because there is always something to learn, and it's always someone to learn from. We just have to be open-minded to that opportunity.
So I have another question.
I have another answer.
You probably do. It's directed to you as a male who has a mentor. I'm assuming this mentor is older than you, correct?
Yeah.
How did you meet this mentor? When did you meet them?
I met him at my job. My old supervisor. I met him I knew him my whole career, but he recently became my mentor like in the last 2 years. Like I used to go to his office, complain about a lot of work shit, and he'd be like, "Yo, stop fucking complaining." And then I didn't stop complaining, but like he helped me like realize like a lot of different things, like some shit you can't change, or some things have to go this way, or like what are you doing with your money, like what do you like try to do this or do that, like help me in like different ways to learn different things, like every aspect of your life. You can have a mentor for every aspect of your life. You just got to be able to talk to somebody. Like me and you relate on like the fact that we love our sisters. Like the shit I can't tell my dad, the shit I wouldn't tell my dad, I could call my sister and be like, yo, this is what I'm going through. How do I navigate the situation? And she would give me advice on how to navigate the situation. So I think that even as a black male, maybe for black men, honestly, they need more female role models.
Honestly, I feel like the right mindset, people have to be viewed in the right mindset. Because I do feel like there is an abundance of female, when you just say figures, I'm not gonna say role models, but female figures are there. They're the most loyal. They're not gonna leave. The mothers are gonna be there for the most cases, not every case, but for the most cases. So those are there. But a lot of times those relationships end up being the son becomes a husband in a lot of situations. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So even with that, they require some level of health and self-awareness with those kind of situations too. But again, people like the moment you feel like you learned it all, you're probably in trouble. Like, the moment honestly, that's another broken part of our community is the generations aren't able to relate to one another anymore. You may have an older head trying to impart knowledge on the younger cats, and they're like, nah, get out of here with that old school. It's not a thing. That kind of is how it is. That there is a disconnect. to the black role models that have been there and been consistent, they're seen as lame because nobody want to be like you. It's like, all right, cool, you get $35,000, $50,000 a year, you got a household, but you ain't getting bread. You ain't got the Gucci's on, you ain't got the, nobody wants to be like you, but still, that is a role model because they take care of responsibilities, they know how to sacrifice, they know how to bust their ass and work.
Yeah.
But people have to be mindful of like, I can learn from this person, but nobody wants to learn anymore.
I think you should always be open and willing to learn from other people. And I think that you should also be cognizant of the fact that, especially for black men, there's little eyes watching you. Mm-hmm. Like, whether some people want to admit it or not, some people, even though I hate that fact that celebrities are role models, they're role models. Yeah. Because society's made them that way. Like, those are who the kids see the most.
And they get the microphone and they get the airtime. And
I just wish that they were more cognizant of the fact that there are smaller eyes watching them. There are going to be people who imitate them. So I wish and I hope they become better role models for the black community, because as much as we don't like it, and as much as we would like it to change, those people who have the social media presence, the YouTube presence, the TV movie presence, the whatever presence they have that celebrity is, there's people watching them. There's people who want to emulate them. So hopefully they do something with that in the future.
That would be real hopeful. I mean, I'm not sure if you
I'm trying to be a little bit like Hans, trying to be hopeful.
I shouldn't bust this bubble.
I swear, I come across way more hopeful when these mics are on than when I am like chilling by myself.
I shouldn't bust the bubble.
I'm like mad pessimistic when these mics are off.
I'm not gonna bust the bubble.
On these mics, I'm like, healthcare for all. We need to help everyone. Off the mics, I'm like,
and I'm more optimistic than a realist, but I'm gonna let that one rock though.
We gotta be the change we want to see in the world.
That's a fact.
That's what we could do. So we mentor. We trying to put a foot out there. We trying to be a little bit of the change we want to see in the world. That's all we really can do.
Yeah, I could talk all y'all want, as long as y'all
actions speak louder than words.
Period. As long as they're acting when y'all talking, period. Man, I've been around so many people that, man, it's crazy. Can I go on a tangent for a little bit?
Go ahead, Jerry.
Son,
I'm gonna give you the camera right now. Go ahead.
Son, I was sitting at the office on Friday, and I was having a conversation with one of my close friends that is moving to Georgia because, just to get things together. And he was venting, but he kind of vented in the wrong way, where he started like, I dip and dabble. I'm a part of a couple of ventures and stuff like that, right?
Oh, okay. Capital Ventures? What's the word I'm looking for?
Venture capitalist.
Yeah, venture capitalist.
There's my white card.
But yeah, so in the middle of his venting, there's a point where he just like starts attacking me and blaming me almost for like his lack of success. I'm like, yo, bro, like, and I feel like as black men, this is like, there's a certain level of understanding, like, all right, cool. At the very end of the day, we could have all the ideas that we want to, and we could see all the problems and come up with all the solutions that we want to. But if we don't put things into action, what's the point, bro? People say like, the graveyard is the greatest gold mine on earth, because in there you're gonna find ideas.
Nigga got all the fucking quotes. Where are you getting all these quotes? I've never heard of half these quotes.
Bro, I listen a lot.
I've tried to convince this man to read many a books, never touched a book in his life. Yet he has
I've been reading for the past
motherfucking quotes ever.
I've been reading for like
the only book I've seen this nigga read is the Bible.
I've been reading other books now.
I've read sections of the Bible. They didn't have these words in it. They said them differently.
But the things I listen to, everything I'm very mindful of what I listen to. Audio visual.
Give this man an audiobook.
Audio visual, but I'm very mindful of the things I listen to and the things I give my attention to. So I've heard a lot of insightful things. But again, the wealthiest place in the world, on the planet, is the graveyard, because you're gonna find ideas, patents that were never brought to fruition because people had ideas that they died with. I could tell y'all niggas right now, I'm not gonna be one of those people. Every idea, every solution that I have, I'm gonna try to put it out in the world and see how it goes.
That's what you could do. Either you're gonna take it or you're not gonna take it.
So I challenge every black man that I know. I'll be willing to work with you if you're doing something. I'm not gonna help you start. I'm not gonna give you a kick in the pants to start, but once you get going, I'll be cheering you on, offering my services, offering my advice. I will be the big, but I cannot pull you by the hand because I'm a black man. I'm pulling myself up by my bootstraps. Only got 2 pairs of hands, bro.
Yeah.
I can't pull you up by your bootstraps to pull myself. I can't, bro.
Well, you only have 1 pair of hands.
1 pair of hands.
Yeah.
2 hands, 1 pair of hands.
And imagine you got 2 pairs of hands.
Bro, elite, my nigga. My champ out here. Nah, me back on time. But like, you know, in this conversation, it got me so heated because, and another thing that people are gonna do, people are gonna look at you and tell you what they believe your potential is. And I always believe that's great, but I'm more than that. Because whatever you have envisioned for me, that's cool according to your imagination and stuff like that. But I'm always gonna believe there's more to that. And he was trying to tell me I should be bigger than what I am right now. And
You should be.
I agree. I'll take that in a positive side, but he was trying to use it again. I'm like, nah, son, I hear you,
You
my
can't use
nigga.
it against me. You're right. I am gonna be bigger next year. Actually,
Just
right
watch.
after this.
Every day I work, though. Every day I work. Every day I do something for what I believe in, towards what I aspire to. Every day I do, whether it be big or small, it would take hours, a few minutes. Every day I work. Every day. So it grinded my gears to have this person that
Ooh, not the Peter Griffin.
it grinded my gears.
Not how he sounds, but okay, we're going.
But
He tried.
grind my gears. Oh my God.
No,
Not quite there.
Don't.
All right.
That's like Virgin in the bottom of your mother's
nah,
He's
basement,
giving
boys.
Pee Wee's Playhouse right now.
Nah, but
Hey, yo.
it grinded my gears to just like hear somebody that, and I love this person dearly, and he does have great ideas, right? But if you're gonna vent, understand, like, you know, you can have all the solutions in the world. Take the risk, try to make those things come to reality. You know, and Don, you know, I say I'm proud of you all the time because, again, ideas are cool. Reality is better, though. Reality is always going to be better than the idea, period.
I like what you just said. In terms of like my own progress, like you're saying the same thing, like I think it's dope and I'm learning to take compliments a little bit better. I don't really like compliments.
A lot of people don't. We wouldn't know why, because it's not normal.
It's not. We do have to normalize it. But I am thankful for the compliments. I'm thankful for like the fact that like my friends and my family be like, yo, I'm proud of you. Like, yo, you got a new job. Like everybody's like, yo, congratulations. Everybody's like, yo, you deserve it. Like these are the things, like things take work, things take effort, and you can't just give up. And I think that there's not enough people in the black community that tell black men that just because it doesn't happen today doesn't mean it's not gonna happen tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
It's tough, man.
if you want something, you got to go out there and achieve it.
Yeah, it's tough because we're taught differently. We had this conversation before. It's like you go to college, you get a set particular, you're going to become an accountant, a lawyer, a doctor, things that have a particular expectation of salary, right?
Yeah.
Anything outside of that, you're wasting your time. If you're going to be an artist, if you're going to make music, if you're going to, anything outside of that set 9 to 5 make money kind of situation, you're wasting your time. Yeah. So like for us to sit here and have goals and dreams and stuff like that, we are going to feel like it's a waste of time. So the moment that we hit 6 months, a year, and it's not going how we imagine in our head, we still have that notion of like, yo, this feels like a waste of time. Well, this may not pan out. Not knowing that we're a week away from that moment. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how we were institutionalized, honestly.
I think things take time, things take work.
Mm-hmm. Consistency, man.
If you could tell a young black man right now something, role model, inspiration words, what would you tell him?
I tell him listen to Hans.
As I stare at them silently, and then they'll get the message. You gotta say nothing. What I would say, I would probably say the past is always harder than the future.
Oh, that's a bar. That's a bar. I heard you smile on that. I heard you smile to you. That's a bar right there. That's a bar.
That's a good one.
That's
right there.
good. That's
Jerry,
real good.
what would you tell? What would you tell the younger version of yourself in regards to you trying to be, if you were trying to role model your younger self, what would you tell him?
I would say bet on yourself, man. Believe in yourself. Invest in yourself, because, investment is a risk. You're saying, all right, cool. Because you're taking a bet, right? I would say invest in yourself. What do you care about? Invest the time, invest the energy. Believe that you can do it. Because, people say, you could be anything you want to be. That's actually true. But But the point we actually believe it is different points of our lives. It may be like, miss opportunities, everything the case may be. But I would just say invest in yourself, invest time, energy. When that money came, invest that money too. Because I'm working with these kids. Imagine if I had a camera when I was younger, Imagine that. Imagine if, even with dance, imagine if I went to dance school, whatever the case may be. Imagine that. I can't imagine it. I can't even imagine it, if I was able to invest into myself or even have my parents invest in me. So the moment I was able to, 18 years old, when I started to get my own time and freedom and money and all that kind of stuff, I would say just invest in myself, invest into my dreams.
That.
Yeah.
Mine's is not as inspirational as yours. It was just gonna be fuck bitches, get money.
Hey.
Nah,
Is that not the point?
Nah, I think if I had to mentor my younger self or mentor anybody, I tell them that it's okay to fail. Like, don't be afraid of failure. Like, you tried, you fail, you get back up, you try again. And it seems like it's cliche. We've heard it time and time again. But like my dad used to always call me Clark Kent. And it used to be like, he used to say that I had the power to be Superman, right? I had the ability to do everything I wanted in the world, but I did just enough to be just good enough. And he hated that.
And just good enough is the enemy to success,
right,
man.
So if I could go tell my younger self something to be a mentor, be like, yo, go be Superman. Go do everything. Go grind. Go do everything. Like, and that's how I approach everything in life now, especially in like the work dynamics, like especially with the podcast. I'm like, I don't like these microphones. I'm gonna go buy $1,000 microphone. I'm gonna regret it later, but it's gonna be worth it. But it's the same thing with work. Like when I go to an interview, when I go for a job interview, when I get a job, like my mentor says, he's like, look to your left, look to your right, see what niggas is doing, do better than they doing. He was like, because eventually you can get to a point where you look to your left and you look to your right, these niggas can't touch you. So that's basically what I tell myself. Just go in there, over fucking achieve. Overachieve everything.
Yeah.
Like, niggas say to children, I'm not done yet. I ain't never taking my foot off your neck. But, Jerry, take us out, Playboy.
Man, I feel like that was us right there. Episode 26, that was us right there. We gave y'all the laughs. We gave y'all the inspiration. We gave y'all everything. We gave y'all us. But this was episode 26 of Sorry We Offended You podcast. And episodes 1 through 25 are on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple, on everything. So if y'all like this episode, go check those out. And we y'all catch y'all for 27.
And if you've been listening to this episode, if you know a young black man, if you are a young black man, if you're a single parent, you're a single mother, you're a single father, if you're just somebody in the community, someone in the village, just remember there are programs out there. New York Urban League, CUNY BIM, Project Thug. They want to grab a book. They're Young Kings, Young Black and Fearless, YBF mentorship program for black young men. And as always, there's no us without you. Damn sure ain't no you without us. We catch y'all next week, niggas.
Peace.